Norritt is a pretty interesting magic card in its own way. So let's talk about this little weirdo. Norritt is a 1/1 creature that costs 3 and a black mana. You can tap Norritt to untap target blue creature, or you can tap Norritt to force target non-wall creature to attack. If creature cannot attack, destroy it at end of turn. Use this ability only during target creature's controller's turn before the attack. Cannot target creatures brought under their controller's control this turn. So this is pretty interesting and kind of strange. Its tap abilities are basically Twiddle and Siren Song, which is kind of strange to see on a black creature. This card's pedigree doesn't just come from the fact that it's weird, it was also one of 5 cards from various TCGs that was offered in issue number 5 of Scry magazine. So you could get your hands on a copy of this common from Ice Age if you bought that magazine. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Norritt is kind of interesting, just in a weird way. This card isn't super strong, but it's also not entirely weak either. If you wanted to break this and do degenerate combo things, you can, but none of them are particularly strong or mana efficient. If you have an Ioreth of the Healing House and a Leyline of Singularity, as well as a Norritt, you can infinitely untap any legendary creatures, which would be every creature in play. That's something that might win you the game. You can also use Norritt in some way to turn things blue, like a Thought-Lace or a Blind Seer, to infinitely untap Kiki-Jiki Mirror Breaker. That might win you a game. Still, looking at this card as though it's a combo enabler is probably missing the forest for the trees. This is not an efficient combo piece, and it's probably more at home untapping a Leviathan or like a Gwendolyn de Courcy or something in a mid to low power old school variant game. 4 mana is just a lot to ask. I don't think Norritt is overcosted, especially for the time, but it's not an insignificant amount of mana. Still, this card is such a curiosity to me. Its effects are a little weird. Its art is fantastic but strange as hell. And there's just something about this card that makes it so weird. It's got, like, charisma, but not quite. I don't know. It's hard to describe this card, but it is strange and appealing in such a weird way. It evokes a strange curiosity in me. It's interesting because this card manages to be intriguing and captivating while being mostly unimpressive. This card isn't unplayable, but it's certainly not the strongest thing to be doing anywhere. This isn't a bad thing, of course. Cards that are way too over-indexed are generally not great for the state of the game, but it is still very interesting that this card manages to capture the passing interest of a lot of players just based on how weird it is. I don't really have too much to say about this card because there isn't a lot to say about it in my opinion. Its abilities are pretty straightforward and not brutally strong, and it just never really had much of an impact, but I still find it so curious. It also feels like maybe it should be legendary, since it seems like Norritt is a name, but legendary creatures were being printed by this point, so it is likely an intentional choice to not make this legendary. It's weird, but I do appreciate cards like this because they kind of break the mold, and they just make you think about the game a little bit differently. Still, I do think a major factor in this card's mystique is the art. So without further ado, let's talk about the art. Norritt was illustrated by Mike Raab, who got started in Ice Age. Mike does great art and has contributed some very cool pieces to the game. Norritt is especially interesting because this art is so weird. It's exceptionally well done and almost lifelike, with the smug and confident smirk that this Norritt, is giving. I also appreciate that its finger glows for like no discernible reasons. Does his glowing finger anger people into attacking him, or does it instill energy in blue creatures? The world may never know, but Norritt is incredibly interesting and weird. The shading is next level on this piece as well, and the shadows are just so awesome. I really like this piece, and I think its excellent execution is part of why this card is compelling, at least to me. Unfortunately, that's all I really have to say on Norritt, so I'll take this opportunity to ask what you think of Norritt. Did you also find this card strangely compelling? Do you have a successful strategy with this card? Did you even try to use it? I'd like to know your experiences with Norritt, and as always, you can like the video if you liked it, you can subscribe if you give a shit, but either way, I hope you have a magical day. Thank you for watching.